Hey, Steve, we've talked about, in recent games how you guys have played well throughout and have lost down the stretch. How does it feel to finally play well, at least, in spurts, and then win down the stretch?
It feels really good, Logan. Feels a lot better than losing. Um, More than anything, just relieved and happy for the players because these guys they're great guys. They're working hard every day and putting in the effort. We're just young, and it's hard to win in this league. It really is. And so it was really good to see us close the game down the stretch. D'Lo made huge shots, and we knocked down our free throws and made stops. So we closed the game out like you have to.
I think he made all four of your final shots in the last 5 minutes. He kind of has a history of those big shots. Even this year, he's hit a few for you. How much do you see him, regardless of the type of game he's had before the end, kind of rise to the offensive moment late?
Yeah, well, that's that's who he is, and it's what he did last year in Brooklyn when he really kind of broke through in the league, and he's built in that way, to close a game because he's not afraid to miss. That's kind of what it takes to be able to hit big shots. You can't worry about missing. D'Lo's never worried about that. He just goes out and plays and hit some big ones tonight and got it done. So that's he's the guy with Steph and Clay out. He's the guy we have to rely on.
Steve, you've been living with these guys now for 3 months. You've been going through mostly the downs with them. What's it like for these players to finally break through? Even though it was, looking at the stats, it's pretty ugly, but the bottom line is a win.
They're happy in there. It's no fun losing. I've said in the last couple of months that I really feel like we've gotten better. We've made a lot of improvement individually. A lot of our young players are getting better and better. But it really has to pay off in the win column now and then to keep their spirits up, to keep them motivated. And so it's a big win for us. Yeah, I mean, any win is a big win where we are right now. And so that felt really good.
Steve, what's the word on Eric?
He's having his right knee evaluated.
Do you know yet if there's an MRI forthcoming?
I'm not sure. He wasn't in the locker room. The training staff took him, and he was getting it evaluated. So I don't know what that means.
Steve, Alec Burks did a great job off your bench today. I mean, I know Draymond hit some free throws and D'Angelo hit the big shots, but it seems like Burks was a big factor. And if you look at the stat sheet,
yeah, it's one of the reasons we like bringing him off the bench. Because he gives us that burst, and we got off to a great start, had a really good first quarter, and then as always, 48-minute game, the game goes on forever, and everyone makes a run, all that stuff. So you need somebody off the bench who can come in and give you a boost, and I thought he did a good job of that tonight.
Steve, you had a challenge that wasn't overturned in the last minute of the game on a Draymond foul. And obviously the challenge is still a new concept. In those situations, do you just have to kind of look at Draymond in the eye and say, did you foul him? Or is that something that you see all on your own? Or is it him approaching you saying, hey, I know I didn't foul him. We should challenge this, especially when we only have one timeout left in the game.
Yeah, I think we're learning as we go. I think the biggest thing is you have to use them in circumstances that are important. I haven't always done it this year. Sometimes I've used it too quickly. But that could mean if your star player has 4 fouls and he picks up a 5th, and you don't think he committed one, maybe you keep him out of foul trouble, or something like this late in a game where there's a close play and your player's telling you he didn't commit a foul. And but the thing I've learned is that no matter what happens, no matter what you see on the replay, no matter what you think, it's still, even with replay, it's not 100%. It never is, which is why I don't like replay. We always say we got to get it right, but I might think something's a foul and you don't, and we could watch the tape over and over again, and we're not changing our opinions. Doesn't mean either one of us is right. It's the only sport that I love replay in is tennis. Ball's either in or out. It's pretty simple. Everything else, it's too subjective.
How much does it help to have that timeout?
It's a big deal. It's a big deal. So that you have to weigh that. We had a 2-point lead. We still had one timeout left. So even if the call is not overturned, we're okay in terms of we've got a tie game if he makes the 2 free throws and it's our ball. And I think there was maybe 35 seconds left, something. 38. Sorry, Raymond. Sorry, Raymond's a stickler. So yeah, I mean, you got to weigh all that, and if you feel like you're going to need 2 timeouts, then you don't waste it. But it was felt like a good gamble.
Coach, I'm just curious. Your old buddy is the coach over there. On paper, they have 4 or 5 pretty good players. Are you surprised that they've? I know they don't have Zion Williamson, but are you surprised that they've struggled as much? Because this felt like a desperation game for them too. The way they had to fight and claw to get back in it.
Well, this is it's a tough league, and when you have injuries like we've had, it's hard to get on track, and so they've had a tough go. And the Zion injury really changed everything for them, and I was happy to see them get a win the other night. And I hope hope Alvin and the team can get it going, because they're friends of mine, and I like to see them do well.
Steve, how crucial was the play where Draymond forced a turnover on Brandon?
I thought Draymond made several huge plays down the stretch. He's just so smart, understanding exactly when to help, where to help from, and directing other players and where they should be. He was brilliant down the stretch defensively. That was an enormous play.
Steph was back on the bench tonight. He was seemed active, very engaged in the game. What type of benefit boost was that?
It's just good to have him around. He's been down in LA rehabbing with under the direction of his surgeon, and so he's back now. And great to see him. Clay as well. Those guys just light up our locker room. It's fun for our players to see them, and definitely a sight for sore eyes.
Hey, Steve, how do you squeeze in some time for the holidays with all this stuff? You're used to it, I know. But, I mean, you got 3 games over the next week during the holiday week. It's going to be – and Houston's coming in town on Wednesday. It's going to be crazy.
It is crazy. So this is the NBA, though. They don't really build in, Christmas break. So we keep going.